There's like the Alps. Is it Alps?
Yeah.
The Alps? Yeah, the Alps. And then there's this couch. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be than this couch right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into This Week in MLS, presented by Target. Jillian Sakovits alongside Stephen Keel.
We're back.
We are back. We are so excited to be here because we have had another fantastic Heineken rivalry week in the books. A lot going on, some playoff moves made, some history made.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
I stopped at a lot going on because I'm exhausted from the past week.
And with a lot going on, that brings us to our twin takeaway.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to talk about one guy in particular. Yeah.
Michael.
It's a long shot, I know.
Michael Parker's. We love.
I'm going to go with Josef Martinez.
Oh,
Yes.
Josef.
Official. It feels like this is what happened in April, but it's finally official. Nobody has ever scored more goals in Major League Soccer in a single season than Josef Martinez. He had 28, and like you said, we're running out of adjectives. We're running out of ways to describe it, but as somebody who gets to watch this week in and week out from the sideline, it has been simply unbelievable to watch in Major League Soccer. And the guy still has 8 games to go.
That's what's insane is there's still, like you said, there's 8 games left. Not only is he gonna, he's obviously beat the record, he's gonna absolutely shatter this record. I think when it's all said and done, we're gonna be looking at witnessing the greatest performance by one player in a single season.
Let me ask you this. So he has scored in 9 straight games.
Yes.
He's at 28.
Yes.
Where do you see him finishing?
I'm gonna put him at right around 34.
Okay.
I think he's gonna end up with a goal a game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this dude just is unbelievable. He's literally scoring every goal, every game. Head, left foot, right foot, you name it. He's so dynamic.
He will get, if that ball's in the air, he's getting his head on it.
I know, we keep saying we run out of adjectives, but yet we keep giving him adjectives because he's that special. So I say 34.
All right, I'm going to go 36. That's my whim takeaway. Keel?
Wow, that was a good one.
Yes.
We should have rock, paper, scissors for who got that one.
I know,
that was
sorry.
so good.
But I'm going to send you out west.
Yes, we're going to go out west to Cascadia, and we have to look at the Seattle Sounders defeating their rivals, Portland Timbers, 1-0 from a Portland Timbers own goal. Jill, this was their 7th win in a row, tying an MLS record post-shootout. Do note that. They tied 2012 Sporting Kansas City. But this game was important for a couple reasons for the Seattle Sounders. One, it was their first win at Providence Parks in 4 years. Huge road victory. 2, this put them above the playoff line for the first time. And 3, which Sounders fans probably like just as much as number 2, is it knocked Portland out of the playoffs for the time being. So we've seen this the past 2 summers where the Sounders go on a little bit of run, they make it a run into the playoffs. And if I'm a Sounders fan, I'm okay with that because the past 2 years, they've been up at MLS Cup.
They've been fantastic to watch recently. Like you said, 7 straight wins, winning at Providence Park, something that is not easy to do no matter who you are. And they have been so defensively sound, starting at the top, obviously, with Stefan Frei, arguably goalkeeper of the year. And they have been outscoring their opponents in these 7 games, 16-3.
They are on the precipice of history, if you will.
They are. Just 1 more to go. We are always in the comments, and one that really stood out to me was this one from Kai. What are your thoughts on the Philadelphia Union, and what do they do from here?
Well, I have some positive thoughts because they've won 3 in a row. That's always a good thing. Also, I think there's a couple players that stand out for me. One, Corey Burke. 7 games he started, 7 wins. I don't want to dive too much into stats, but that's good.
Games with 2 straight goals for him.
Absolutely. So he's been a difference maker up front for him. And then also defensively, you can't mention the Philadelphia Union without mentioning Andre Blake. The guy stood on his head, 2 world-class saves to preserve the 1-0 win over the New England Revolution. So I think from here, I think they continue to trend up. A lot of the knock on Philly has been that they play good soccer, but they don't always win. And I think this one was a game where it was gritty, it was ugly, and they were able to find the 3 points. So for Philadelphia, I think you were on the up and up.
It's hard to believe with Philadelphia because I feel like over the past few years in particular, we've had so many seasons where like, oh, this team's fun to watch, this team's fun to watch, but it kind of ebbs and flows, and then they don't kind of get it done. In the last 6 years, they've only made the playoffs once, which is kind of hard to believe when you think about it.
That's right. So that's why I think this game against New England was so important, just from a mental aspect, to kind of get over that hump of, yes, we, towards the end, we can dig in, we can win ugly, and find ourselves in the playoffs again.
Certainly exciting to see what the Philadelphia Union have in store. Let's talk playoff push.
Toronto FC. I think for me, the most important part for them is being healthy, right? all year. They've had injuries, they've had suspensions, and we haven't really seen Greg Vanney put out his starting 11. I think we're getting closer. Drew Moore came back. They're still missing Chris Mavinga. Josie was out suspended. He should be back. So it's crunch time. They need to have their full starting 11 all healthy. And listen, that group, I put them up against any other starting 11 in this league. They're going to be tough to beat.
If Josie's playing, him combined with Jovinko, obviously those two have a very good record when they are playing together.
Yes.
But that's the key.
And that's the thing, is getting them on the same field at the same time. And you speak of Jovinko, Seba, quietly having a stunning second half of the season in general. I think he's scored or assisted in the last 9 games, which has been phenomenal. So as he goes, Toronto FC continues to go. I think they're trending upward. It's just a matter of, is there enough games left in the season for them to climb above the playoff line?
Let me put you on the spot. Greg Vanney said that they'd have to win. He said 7 of 10 before the weekend. They got the win over Montreal, so now they'd have to win 6 of 9 to basically control their own destiny and make it. Do they do it?
Do they control 6 out of the last 9? I think
they have a tough schedule.
They do have a very tough schedule. I think a couple tough games on the road. For me, I think they'll get the wins they need. I just worry about the other teams also getting the wins they need. And I think at the end of the day, I don't want to give anything away, but I think DC jumps them.
Let's head down to DC. Speaking of them.
Is that a segue?
Yeah, it is.
You're welcome.
DC has fared very well at their brand new Audi field, going 5-1-0 there. Will it be enough for them to creep in?
I think so. I think, having spent time this past game, unfortunate, they lost 1-0 to Red Bull at Red Bull Arena. I was there. I got to speak with some of the guys and some of the staff. And it's so interesting as they speak of such it's almost like it's been a different culture, almost like a rebranding. New season with Wayne Rooney coming in, Audi Field. It's a new, fresh breath of life. For me, the signing and probably the thing that I think can help them propel them to the playoffs is Bill Hamid. It's kind of gone under the radar. Not too much has been mentioned about him. But
he's back.
Ta-da! He's back and he's in goal. And reminder, he's still a very good goalkeeper. So I think having him defensively is going to help shore up things. And then going forward, we've seen with Rooney, Lucho Acosta, how deadly they can be. So I think that's an Audi Field is a fortress. I really like what they're doing.
Also a hard schedule for DC coming up. 4 of their last games against the top 3 teams in the East, so it's not going to be easy. Let's talk about a team, though, that's had a little bit of a softer schedule in Montreal. Do they hold on? I
think we've kind of addressed with Toronto and DC and different teams are kind of trending upwards. I think now Montreal might be trending a little bit downwards.
I think
you were spot on with the schedule. I was on this show previously tooting their horn, yay Montreal. But I think maybe it was a little bit of the product of the schedule. Now they're facing a little bit tougher teams. And for me, it's kind of, what do they do? What's their plan B? I think their plan right now is kind of to give it to Nacho Piatti, such a special player, and let him do something. But as you play against better teams, they can kind of contain him a little bit more. So what's that second option? Is it Taider stepping up? Is it Silva stepping up? What do they do? So I think they need to figure that out, especially down the stretch if they want a chance to make the playoffs.
Okay, so let's take a look at the Eastern Conference picture. Atlanta, New York Red Bulls, NYCFC Crew. Assuming these 4 go through, who are the 2 you see creeping in?
I know. I think for me, it comes down to one spot. I think Montreal is going to fall below the playoff line when it's all said and done. So I think it's that one spot between Toronto and DC. DC with the games in hand at home. Toronto's schedule is tough. I'm going to go with DC.
All right, so Philly and DC, according to Stephen Keel, got the final 2 spots in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah!
Philly, DC, we are on the same page. Let's shift over now to the Western Conference, and we are going to start with the Vancouver Whitecaps. They've been a little inconsistent this season, but they've got their next 3 at home, which is huge. Is it enough to keep them in playoff contention?
We've seen this league. You rattle off 2 to 3 games in a row, and you jump 2 or 3 spots in the standings. So they definitely can do that. My personal hope is that they do make the playoffs. I'm biased because I need more Alphonso Davies in my life. Not only is he dynamic going forward, we see his work rate coming back, clearing bicycle kicks, off crosses and stuff. He's just so fun to watch. My concern from them, though, is defensively. I think they've given up 51 goals, 4th most in the league. And I just don't know if they can clean that up, and they're going to have to clean that up to stay above the playoff line.
Let's go to their Cascadia rivals in the Portland Timbers now. They've got 4 straight losses.
Yes.
But they did play well, I thought, over the weekend. they're the Portland Timbers. Like, can we really not see them in the playoffs? I know last year was a bit of a disappointment, and they have, I think the key here is going to be they have a bunch of games in hand.
They have games in
they
hand.
They have 10 to play.
And
3 on the Galaxy.
And you're right. When you still look at the eye test, when you watch them play against Seattle, yes, they didn't. You'd rather not play well and win than play really well and lose. But they did. They dominated the game. They were unlucky not to walk away with 3 points. But I think for me, it's crucial is where are the goals going to come from? That's Blanco, Valeri, Armenteros. If those guys aren't having a day, who off the bench can come in and produce? Is it Milano? I don't know. And so they need to figure that out. But ultimately, they're still extremely difficult to break down. They're sound defensively. And yeah, that Valeri guy, yeah, he is the reigning MVP. I think he's got 9 goals, 10 assists in the season. So I think they'll be okay.
All right, staying in the Pacific Northwest with Seattle. They've never missed the playoffs. Do they start now?
I don't think they start now. They're already in the playoff lines. And I think for Seattle, it's not just about sneaking in the playoffs. I think they want one of those higher seeds. And you look at the spine of this team. You got Fry, possible goalkeeper of the year. Chad Marshall, possible defender of the year. Ozzy Alonso's found his youthfulness. Nico Lodero's a special number 10. They got the best defensive unit in the league. So I think for me, I think they're going to be okay.
I don't want to jump the gun with a team like the Seattle Sounders just because they've got a lot they obviously need to work on. They had a terrible start to the season. But we can't count them out. Everybody remembers what happened 2 years ago when they were the worst team in the league at the end of July. So I'm just saying.
Don't count them out.
Don't. All right, Stephen, and finally, let's talk the LA Galaxy. They are in the playoffs as of now. Been a little defensively shaky this season. Can they stay there?
They've not 1 in 5, so they're not trending in the right direction, definitely.
That's correct.
It is a tough schedule ahead of them. I think it's also tough is, like you said, defensively, they just keep conceding goals. It was a little bit better against LAFC, only that 1 goal. But you can only outscore teams 4-3, 4-2 so many times. That being said, when you got a guy named like Zlatan, yeah, he can single-handedly take the team on his back and carry them to the playoffs. Will that happen? I think it's just a lot. They're running out of games, and they're going to be running out of points.
I agree. I feel bad we won't potentially be seeing Zlatan and company in the playoffs, but I'm sticking with Timbers and Sounders in this one. I think they creep in and take those final 2 spots in the West.
I agree, but how awesome would it be if it was Vancouver and LA and we saw Alphonso Davies, Zlatan Ibrahimovic head-to-head?
I am not counting out that we are totally wrong, so that could happen.
Oh, listen, by all accounts, we're probably 100% wrong, but whatever, that's fine. There's still 8 or 9 games for these things, so we're making these bold predictions.
That's why we're subs.
That is why we're subs.
Okay, Stephen, it is time for our favorite part of the show. Did you see that? I will have you
do the
honors, please.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Every time I'm here, I always push it.
Well,
should I do it again? Okay,
yes,
yeah,
please.
Move along. Favorite time. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Did you see that? Okay, I'm ready.
It gets less and less scary every time I hear it, I gotta say. All right, in this video, who wouldn't want to be next to this guy, Henri, talking tactics during the Red Bulls DC game? Can we get some audio on this video?
I think the question was, did you see that? And 100%, yes, I did, because I was there. I saw Thierry down by the locker rooms. We were hanging out, chat, old time's sake, the good old days.
Your former teammate.
My former teammate. We're chatting about the old days. We even took a picture. I asked to take a picture, and he's like, "I'm only taking a picture with you, Steven." I'm like, "Why wouldn't
you better be?
Why wouldn't this World Cup winner want to take a picture with me?" Thierry, I get it, man. Anyways, no, but it was great seeing old teammate, and you could just the video. The dude is on a different level. Soccer intelligence.
Awesome to watch. I wish I knew what he was saying, but honestly, just watching it was enough.
He was probably telling us the center backs to split, just like we did at Barcelona with PK
so
and
easy.
Puyol. It's no problem. You play out of the back. It's no problem. No problem for Thierry.
Okay, so that does it for this week's edition of This Week in MLS.
We made it.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. We're back here, same.
You're back next week?
Yeah. Susanna's covering important stuff in Germany, the Netherlands.
I didn't get the call up next week. Wow, this got awkward. This got super awkward.
I guess this is the life of 2 subs.
Only one of us can go in.
Yeah.
Right. We've used our 2 subs, and there's only that third one left, and Jillian gets it. Steven, you can go back and sit down.
But Keel, it was so fun talking soccer with you. Always fun to hang out with you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me this week.
All right, we will see you guys next week. As always, make sure to download the MLS app for all the latest going on across the league. See you guys next time.